Hi, in today's video I'm going to show you how to clean your Cricut mat and also get some more a longer life out of it. I purchased this mat about 6 months ago and I use my mats, I would say probably more for paper cutting than I do for vinyl cutting, and I find that when you're cutting paper they even tend to get dirty quicker. You have the glitter and you have just the fibers from the paper. And having a clean sticky mat is very important, especially when you're cutting with paper, because this one right now, it's not sticky at all. It's dirty, it's covered in glitter and just fibers, and there's some hair on here, you name it, it's a mess. And it's very important, especially when you're working with paper, to have a sticky mat, because I used to tape it along the edges and that will hold it down. But if the center doesn't stick, then you get a little bit of play in your material that you're working with, and that's when you start to tear and you don't get the clean cuts. So I've tried the shortcuts with the tape. They haven't really worked for me. What really works is just having a sticky mat. What I used to do is I used to buy new mats more often. They would get to this state and I would toss them out and buy a new one. So I finally got tired of throwing my mats out and spending money on new ones, and I decided that I had to find a way to keep these mats cleaner. And I went through all of the different recommendations, dish detergent and soap. There are different spray cleaners that you spray on and wipe off, and going through all those methods, the one that I found makes my mat last the longest and makes it the most useful for me is a simple baby wipe. So I use Costco Kirkland brand baby wipes just because they're super affordable, but any baby wipe will do. Some people use Clorox wipes. That has bleach in it, so I don't like to use those. I love the baby wipes because they're gentle and I feel it keeps the adhesive intact most out of anything I use, and what it does is it just takes the dirt and grime off the surface and allows that adhesive to be sticky again. So it's really quite simple. All you do is you get your pack of baby wipes, any brand you want, and you take it, and I work up in the corner and work my way over, and you just, in circular motions, rub. Don't push down too hard. You don't want to rub that glue off, but rub, and you'll start to see that dirt and those fibers and that glitter, it all starts to come up. And you can see as I'm working my way across, the pieces of glitter coming up on my baby wipe. But if you have anything bigger and it's not coming up as you wipe it, you can always take your scraper and just scrape those bigger chunks of paper or felt or whatever it might be off. I gave it a good go over once, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go over it again, because as I'm doing those circular motions, I'm kind of spreading some of that dirt outside of my circle onto what was already clean. So now that I have a little less dirt to work with, I'm going to go over it one more time. Okay, I'm done. I used a handful of baby wipes. They got pretty dirty. Could I go over it again and get even more? Possibly, but this looks pretty clean to me. Now you might panic because you might touch it and say, it's not sticky. What did I just do? I rubbed all the glue off, but that's not true. You just need to let it dry. So give it, let it air dry. And then, depending on how wet it is, sometimes I can use mine again in 20 minutes, sometimes it's an hour. That sticky will come back now that you have all the dirt off. And I find also it's easier if you don't let your mat get to the point of dirty like mine was, but if you do it after you do a particularly dirty cut, if you just wipe it up a little bit, And then it's a little less work there getting it clean getting it back to a state of clean. One more tip, always make sure that you cover your mat with the clear sheet that it comes with. A couple of reasons: it helps keep it clean, it keeps the dust off. If you have pets, it keeps the pet hair off. I just write the date that I purchased my mat on, and that's so, not because I really care what date I purchased my mat, that's more so I know which way is up and which way is down. Because if you think about it, you're letting dirt and everything get on the top of this. So I don't want to accidentally flip it over after I've cleaned my brand new mat, which I need to let this air dry, I'm just showing you. But I don't want to accidentally flip it over and put all this dust, that has accumulated on top of it. And you can see how sticky that is already, even though it's not fully dry. So I hope this helps. Hopefully this saves you some money and saves you some frustration. If you have those projects that are slipping around and tearing instead of cutting. And if you have any other advice on how you keep your mats clean or how you extend the life of them, I'd love to hear it in the comments below. Thanks so much.